Welcome to the Messina Connection, where we cover sports, music, people, and a little bit of politics. Can you handle the conversation? Welcome to the Messina Connection. I am Scott Messina, and I am here with the one and only, the man himself, Mr. Desmond Meade. He has been on the cover of Time magazine, and we're going to get into everything. He is, we got into a conversation last week, and I said, this is just too good not to film. So he was gracious enough to come back up here today, and you don't live too far from me. So he came to the Eye Showcase Studios, and here we are, buddy. How are you?
Listen, I'm great, Scott. I must be a pain freak, right? I came back for more. But no, I enjoyed that conversation.
You came back for more. I'm enduring more.
All right.
No. You have some really, really valid points, and the whole thing with the Messina Connections. You know, we do Messina Connection. We do a little bit of politics, music, sports, and all that. But this is mostly about politics. This is about your story, and I'm trying to do, even if it's something little, something to bring people together, man.
Yep. Well, guess what? Then you said it right, because if you're going to do politics, then you might as well include music and sports, because guess what? Those two things actually bring people together. Right? And there's so much connection between music, sports, and politics, man, you wouldn't believe it. So it's going to get in somewhere or another. Either you're going to bring it in, or I'm going to bring it in.
No, we already there. We could bring in, and that's the beauty. We both very much appreciate our First Amendment right. There is no censorship. We say what we say. We believe what we believe. Stand for something or fall for anything.
That's right.
You know, your viewpoints are a little bit different than mine. My viewpoints are a little bit different than yours. But what I noticed in our first conversation was we were a little bit more in the center and more together than most people.
What? Man, let me tell you, I was hanging out with a friend on the lake 2 days ago, and that was the very same thing that he said. He was like, and it was, I guess he was just expressing a little frustration of some politicians that we have today.
Sure.
Right? And saying that, these politicians, they get us engaged in these wars, these identity wars, and they prevent us from even realizing that we agree on 90% of the stuff, right? But they have us focus on the 10%, 15% that we are just totally opposite, and that's where the war is at, right? And we forget about the 90% that we're pretty much cool with, right?
I think post-COVID, legacy media has done no justice. And I think post-COVID it got worse. And I think the race baiting on both sides. I think weaponizing race, weaponizing the law, weaponizing. I'll go right in. I'll go right in and I'll go deep. It's not good for our country. And I feel that we need to do something. People need to. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, red, rainbow. I don't care. Live your life. Live your best life. But at the end of the day, I do like the color green.
Well, I tell you, that is a good color. Yeah, I love it.
That's a good color.
And I hate getting rid of it too.
I hate to lose the color green.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Wait, speaking
Lord.
of that, now we got Martians. Martians getting ready to come. What, in the next 100 days? Have you been reading that?
No.
I'm gonna go squirrel on you. I know you can hang, but yeah, there's some alien ship or astro. I don't know what.
Oh my God.
Read up on that. It's crazy. Anyway, back to business, man. Do me a favor. Just tell our viewers basically who you are, what you stand for. Tell us a little bit about your history.
So listen, a lot of times, especially in the past, when I'm talking to folks, I always start with my story, and I always start in August of 2005. I remember it was a hot and humid day in South Florida, Dade County. And, if you're from Florida, you know about that heat and humidity, especially in August, right? I tell folks, man, it was so hot that I seen the dog chasing the cat and they were both walking, right? That's how hot it was. But for a few moments, I was actually able to block out that heat and humidity, because that day I found myself standing in front of railroad tracks, waiting on a train to come so I can jump in front of it.
Man,
right? And I stood there, Scott, a broken man. I was addicted to drugs. I was homeless. I didn't have a job. I was recently released from prison, and the only thing I owned were the clothes on my back. And I remember thinking about how I was a failure and how I was a huge disappointment to my family, and I didn't see any light at the end of the tunnel.